pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so the first thing on our agenda is a presentation by the various cabinet members. So I'm not sure who wants to start.
I can introduce. So each year we, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've done a number of presentations about district level goals and things like that. And well, we got a number of directors and administrators that participate in all these things at the building or district level. I try to bring in a handful of them each summer so that they can kind of share for the board and the community what types of things are going on in the school district, and we relate it to the strategic plan, like our policy 223 states. And so I brought in a handful of staff members today that are going to speak to that. You guys were all here last year, so you saw how it went. It's a different group. Most of them are different. Some are going to be here every year, but others are coming kind of, we try to do alternating years and things like that. So I'll start. So again, just everything is related to our strategic plan that we created a couple of years ago, and our belief statements right from the strategic plan. We can see those on here. Believing everyone is unique, has worth, deserves respect, and can learn and excel in an environment tailored to their needs. That it's the responsibility of every school to provide a respectful, physically and emotionally safe and secure learning environment. We believe that critical thinking and problem-solving skills are fundamental to preparing students for their future. We believe in the potential of all students to succeed in an ever-changing world, and we believe in the value and importance of student involvement in activities to create well-rounded citizens. Which brings us to our mission statement: developing self-directed learners to thrive in a changing global community. And all these again are on our strategic plan on our website. And then we've got the strategic plan focus areas, which you'll see on the slides when they're being presented. We've got student growth and achievement, safety and well-being, staff development and support, family and community engagement, and effective resource management. And then what we'll do is we'll have each person come up, and some of them are groups and things like that, and they'll just share where their focus area is and how it relates to the goals and the objectives that are on the strategic plan, and then share a little bit about how we're working toward trying to attain those. We'll start with Ms. Carla Nolan and her crew, maybe, who will speak to instruction. Carla can introduce herself, and the others, when they come up, can introduce themselves as well.
Course goals. There are 5 goal areas, but I will be sharing the progress and results on goals that I can, as we don't have our NCA scores yet until late August, and our graduation rate for this current year, the year that we just finished, won't be ready until about winter. But the ones that I can, in the next slide. So the 3 goal areas that I'll be sharing tonight are, one is the kindergarten readiness, where we focus on our littles. So this was last fall. The students that were eligible for last fall kindergarten in the 2023 fall are the students that we just in the spring now assessed. And we wanted 80% of those students to be on track to score at low risk on the early reading assessment, and we finished at 79%. Some areas that we are working on in terms of that goal are, we are aligning the phonemic awareness curriculum with the kindergarten through 2nd grade curriculum as well, and our early childhood teachers will be beginning letters training in the next school year. The second one, which was our read on grade level goal area, this is one that will not be finished until 2026, so I'm reporting on the progress toward that. And our goal is to have 70% of students scoring at or above grade level benchmark in reading. This year, we looked at some progress in terms of growth. And a typical student will expect to make a year's growth. And we had 32% of our students in grades 2 through 9 make aggressive growth, meaning they made more than a year's growth in that 1 year of time. So a couple of things that we're working on there in terms of literacy. Our elementary literacy curriculum implementation will begin in the fall, so we'll have that consistent and aligned. And we also have now either begun or had teachers complete in K-5 letters training. So we just started that. We're looking forward to continuing that work. Finally, our graduation rate, even though we won't get 2024 rate, our 2023 rate was 91.7%. And so our goal is to keep that at 90% or better. We'll also take goal 2. So objective 2.1, looking at utilizing digital tools, even though this was a 22-23 school year goal, we continue to work on that and strengthen our use of digital tools. This past year, we conducted a digital tool inventory where staff were talking about and looking at the digital tools that we do use and what are high quality and impactful for students and which are not. We also align digital tools that we are using to standards-based instruction. And we also facilitated professional development and provided some implementation support around artificial intelligence in our buildings. And objective 2.2 is focusing on a consistent learning environment. And in my area that is around the areas of curriculum and instructional practices. So in those areas, we did do an initial implementation of our elementary and high school science curriculum this year, getting everybody on the same page there. In addition to that, some things pop up that are not necessarily part of the curriculum review, but we do need some curriculum. And so we did do some updating this year on some curricular resources in multiple areas. Like I said, our K-5 literacy and health curriculum adoption happened this year, and we'll be looking forward to implementing that in the fall. We've streamlined our professional development district-wide, meaning that we are focusing on the same topics based on our needs of our students, but in each building, they're differentiated based on the level and the needs of our staff. Letters training, like I said, we've begun. We're working on an implementation plan. So as teachers go through units of letters training, they'll know what they need to be implementing in the classroom. And finally, initial implementation of our data warehouse, EduClimber, which will help us to really analyze our data, understand where students are at and performing, and really look at what the needs of our students are in order to adjust our instruction.
This is way too small, even for my glasses. Hi, everybody. How are you this evening? Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit. You can hear me. Goal 3, provide the resources necessary and remove barriers to create professional learning opportunities for all students with safe, supportive, inclusive, and collaborative culture. So I'm going to focus on the 5 objectives here. So I'll go through each of the objectives a little bit. First, number 1, we focus on our ALICE, our drills, to continue to work on the safety of our schools. And so everybody is currently trained in ALICE, and we go through that process every year, as well as along with our tornado drills, our fire drills. And so those are something that we want to continue with. Along with that is PBIS, focusing on school-wide matrix. This is the intermediate actually implemented the PBIS process this year. We've incorporated it throughout the previous year, so we're excited to have them come on board and go through the training with that process. And the second part was the student achievement, and Tyler really focused on the world's best workforce, along with the multi-system of support, focusing on addressing our tier 1 interventions that are provided in the classroom, as well as tier 2 and tier 3 for students who are in need of both academic and the behavioral support. The third objective, we continue to incorporate Character Strong, our social emotional learning within our district. Every building incorporates that one way or another. We use it during our advisory time to provide students some specific skills working on their social emotional learning. The number 4, we are up to the strength and welcoming and safe. This year, actually, the high school has incorporated looking into the cell phone policy. I know you've heard about it, and we use the IRAD process, that the problem-solving process in the form of IRAD. And they were able to look at how that's going to look differently next year, utilizing the information they were given and what it's going to look like coming into the 24-25 school year. And so we're excited how that process is. We're also continuing our plan at the middle school to keep them in their lockers. We think that's good and age appropriate for middle school students. And then finally, objective number 2.5. 26-27 school year will enhance opportunities to explore interest and optimize abilities and potential. As you know, in March, middle school presented the schedule, and we incorporated our school third program called DIG, and we're really excited about that. I think that offered different possibilities for students, especially at the middle school level. Just being able to explore interests, being able to choose, having the opportunity to choose, and so that is something that we're going to continue to dig into next year, and that continues. I know also that at the high school, they are incorporating other classes as well.
Good evening. I want to address the professional development part. We are very fortunate to have amazing staff at Becker Schools, and we want to continue to support them and maintain that professional growth along the way that helps them to be successful as long as the students be successful. The objectives I'm going to talk about are 4 of them. The first one is annually providing ongoing feedback to all staff to support professional growth. Some of the things that we've been working on in the last couple of years is on engagement strategies, really helping students be more actively engaged in their instruction and in their learning. And we're working with staff on that on an ongoing basis during our staff meetings, during staff development days, so they can be the student in those days to be able to experience what those engagement activities are a part of. And we are going to continue to provide those in the future. We're also going to continue to provide support for staff on EduClimber. As Carla talked about, that is a student database system where we're bringing all the information together. So as we look at how we can help support students, we have all the information needed to deal with their academic and the attendance, their social emotional well-being, and everything else like that. For paraprofessionals on our early outs, we have staff development days that are set up for them to help them to grow professionally too, so that they can be successful while working with students. We also do professional reviews with staff to talk about their strengths, areas that they've been doing really well, and areas that we can work towards improving their work there. And staff, one of my favorite parts of the year is going through their individual growth and development plan. Classroom teachers set goals for each year, and then I meet with them. All the administrators meet with their staff throughout the year to talk about the progress, and at the end of the year, review where they were with their goals, how they met them, and what their goals will be for the next year. And so we see a lot of benefits with that because we can really help them to grow in the areas that they want to improve their performance. For the objective number 3, is by 23-24, we will refine the teacher development and evaluation plan to support professional development that focuses on promoting optimal learning. This has been a work in progress. We've been meeting together to strengthen this area here. We have a rubrics this year that we have been utilizing to help teachers to see where they are in each of the areas that we've established for the teacher development area, and have been talking about where they are, how we can get them to move to that next level. And we will continue to be doing that so that they can see where their strengths are and what areas that they can focus on. And the 4th one is in the strategic plan is during the 23-24 school year, we'll identify opportunities to strengthen and focus PLCs to enhance student professional growth. We've been utilizing EduClimber, again, looking at the data, how best to meet students' needs according to where they are within the data. Focusing not only on their FastBridge and MCA scores, but also looking at their formative, summative assessments and their behavior and the attendance, and trying to look at the whole child to see how we can help them all to be successful. It's been a very positive year in all the buildings with our PLCs. We continue to see that time of the week to be very successful and important so that we can be cohesive as a system. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Matt Boyer, principal at Becker Intermediate School. And as you can see, we're at family and community engagement and family outreach. And with goal 5, it's to promote and celebrate the opportunities that make Becker Public School District the foundation of the community. And our strategic plan objective 5.2 is that during the 2023-24 school year, we will create processes and a communication plan that creates a connection between all stakeholders in the district. One of our mini goals here is to continue with our parent-teacher conferences. And we've had great success with attendance at our parent-teacher conferences. It's a great connection for the families and the teachers, along with the students, to be able to share the great things that are happening, see the progress that's being made, set goals, and work towards greater goals as we move on and progress through the school year. Also, another goal is, as a school district, we communicate with our families, whether that be on a weekly, monthly, or trimester basis, with all families involved in Becker Public Schools. Through the use of newsletters and our Skyward communication tools, we keep stakeholders informed in a transparent manner of the great things that are happening here at Becker Public Schools, and we do that in a timely manner. And we appreciate our families that give us feedback on that, and also our families that take advantage of those tools and read those and work with us. So thank you very much.
We have questions at the end, but if maybe we'll break it into groups. So any questions for those presented before we shift a little bit to a different department from the principals? Now, again, they're touching on things that they talk for a lot longer if you wanted them to, and I don't know, but if you have any questions on any of that stuff, even just this last one here, you saw in the newspaper, if you're looking at the newspaper, we have more articles in this year. We had better social media presence and things like that. But every one of those areas, we could list some more things. But any questions for that group anyway? No? Okay. We'll go to HR next.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to touch on some of the same goals that they've talked about, only more in the HR world. So goal number 3, objective 3.1 is an annual evaluation of procedures and protocols related to the safety of students, staff, and community within the Becker School District. So some of the things we've implemented this year are day 1 new hire trainings. So they come in and the entire day is spent within the HR office. I'm doing all the required trainings, making sure they have all their tools to be successful day 2. So we worked with all the hiring managers and made sure, as much as we need people working, we came to an agreement that we could take that first day, get them prepared so that they're ready to go and hit the ground running that day 2. So that's been successful this year. We've had great feedback on that. I do follow up with new hires to see how that onboarding experience went, to see how we can improve in the future and if there's anything that was missing that could have been beneficial. Another focus I did this year is I made it my project to kind of review the payroll processing, the HR and payroll whole district office roles. So actually Kevin and I together, we cross-trained ourselves on the payroll process for what the HR coordinator and the payroll specialist do. When I first came here, there was a lot of overtime being done, a lot of, the comments, we don't feel like we can take vacation, which in a district office, it is hard to be double layered, but I do feel like it's very important to allow people to take vacation and actually be on vacation. So that was a huge goal for me. And actually I reduced the overtime pay by 93% from 22-23 to 23-24. And I know if you ask some of those employees, they do feel like they can go and be gone and not have to, check in with their email. So that is a goal of ours, is the cross training. It'd be great if we could do it district wide, but obviously some positions you can't do that. But all right, next one. During the 23-24 school year, we will identify opportunities to strengthen our schools being a welcoming, safe, and supportive school climate. So this year we really worked on the meet and confer meetings with our different groups. That allows us to, open up that communication. I really tried to build those strong relationships with union stewards and try to avoid grievances and get it on the front end. If there's any concerns, I feel like I have an open door policy, and they were more than comfortable coming to me and asking me before it, gets too far. So we, in the past 2 years, we've only had one grievance that has come across my desk. So that's my measurement, that I feel like that is being done, and people feel like they can come and have open communication, discuss their concerns with us on the front end. Okay, next one. So strategic plan objective 4.5, by June 30th, 2024, we will create and implement a plan to recruit and retain highly qualified staff to reflect the needs of our district. So in March of 2023, we implemented a $300 referral bonus program. To date, we have hired and retained 5 new employees through that program and paid 5 of our employees that $300 bonus. And they're still with us today. We also created a plan to recruit our speech language pathologists, which have been extremely hard to fill. We've had an open position the past 2 years, and now we are fully staffed for the upcoming school year. So we really had to get creative with that. Obviously our contracts kind of hold us to certain requirements. And so we did find a way to, become competitive with our neighboring districts to get people on board here in Becker. Through negotiations, we were able to remove step 1 with the BEA salary schedule to help recruit those new teachers and stay competitive again with neighboring districts. We are working through that with some other groups as well, and hoping that we can get to that point. In 24-25, we will begin facilitating the highly qualified paraprofessional test on site. So right now they do it off site, and the paras have to pay for that. So one of our requirements for paraprofessionals that work with special ed kids are that they either have an AA degree or they have to take a parapro test. So they did always have to pay for that and go off-site and miss a day of work, but now we're going to facilitate that on-site. And we also will be paying for that, but that's based on new legislation. Also, I implemented stay and exit interviews. So last year I did exit interviews. This year I also did stay interviews. So I picked a group of employees from each group, some that have been here very long, some that have been here just a couple years, and I just asked them, why are you staying in Becker? And really all this feedback is just trying to help figure out trends on why people are leaving, why people are staying, and what we can look to improve on, or to keep our people happy. And then lastly, we are in the process of doing some recruitment videos. Data shows that people are more apt to watch short videos, especially on, social media, than read posters or long paragraphs of what we offer. So we took actual Becker staff and Becker students, and we did little short snapshots, videos of what it looks like to work in Becker. So the students were so excited to take part in that. So we're just kind of editing through that, and then they'll be up on our social media, maybe on our website. And it just shows both why you want your students to enroll here, why families want to come here, and also why you want to be an employee. Yeah. Any questions on that?
Good, thank you.
I
And
get to be Tom.
yeah, we'll go to transportation, and Kevin's gonna
Tom.
talk about
Tonight.
some of that. I'll fill in if I need.
So a little bit, first of all, just some facts. Transportation, they drove 250,000 regular miles, just on the regular miles for the AM and PM routes, 30,000 miles for trips, 80 field trips. They did 250 sporting trips. We used almost 40,000 gallons of fuel. One of the objectives that they are working on is to manage and monitor the ongoing facility needs and use space. Obviously, it's a brand new building, so it was kind of activate as you put it in place to try to get all the buses. And I think they've got it all where they've got them all lined and they know where they want to put them. The mechanics area is all set. They did that collaboratory, between the drivers, the mechanic, the dispatcher and the director. So they got that pretty well set in place where their buses are, the vans and all the short buses. The second objective was to annually provide ongoing feedback to the staff and support professional growth. And in a few of those areas that they do that is they have the state patrol actually come in and do training. They also do through the employee handbook, we put certain items that are supposed to be done for buses. One of the biggest things that they also do there is, between the dispatcher, the mechanic, the director, and some of the employees, is to really try to do the coverage. As you guys have known, we've had to push some routes back. They go later because of trips. I mean, they've done an awesome job on just managing through that whole thing when we don't have enough drivers to cover everything. So that's what I had, unless you had something more to add.
No, I mean, I think that's most of it. Some of the other training that they've been doing too is some safety training with Homeland Security. They brought in to do some training undercover type of work too, where they put them in different scenarios without them knowing, and they kind of test them out, and then they reflect on that and things. So backpacks and stuff in the bus, and
see if the bus driver check, see where they were.
yeah, good. And then speaking of being flexible and getting lots of trips and things in, we'll transition then to activities. We also worked well with Tom. They were like best friends all day.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done a lot of work together, and Tom does a great job of helping us to get things rolling, and we cooperate together to work. So when I had an opportunity to come in today and talk a little bit about what we're doing in activities, I thought the first thing I wanted to bring up is our activities mission statement. So you can see up on our screen, this is something that was developed by our Activities Council a handful of years ago. And just kind of piecing together what we see as an overall mission. If you look at the kind of the bold print terms, that's really what we focus on. At each one of my coaches meetings, we talk about the areas that are stressed here. We kind of walk through each one of them and talk a little bit about what are those importances, the importances of what the message is in these terms. So as you go through them, again, don't need to read through them all, but if you think about some of the things that kids face today, that was our goal in creating this. Perseverance and resiliency, all the different challenges that they face. We thought that was important. Obviously, lifelong goals, positive attitudes, teamwork, character, all those things. So just really wanted to have an opportunity to speak a little bit about that and just to show you that does exist in each of our handbooks, our coaches and our activities handbook. As far as the goals go, the first one of ours that we're looking into is strategic plan objective 2.1. We will continue utilizing digital tools to support and enhance learning for all staff and our students and staff. You'd think with activities and athletics that there's probably not a lot of correlation between that and the academic world, but we actually do a lot of academic work in our office. And we really hold our kids accountable to things. And one of the big things that's really changed over the last handful of years and more recently is the online classes that kids can take. It's really kind of put a challenge on us to be able to try to read where those kids are at academically and also being a part of athletics here and activities here. So we're working with Mr. Kreft on that to try to oversee what's going on because they have a whole different realm of how they are judged. The timeline has changed. It's completely different. We look at ours, we'll start looking right away at kids that didn't have a successful spring semester. They'll come into the fall semester on an academic probation status, and then we start up at midterms with the rest and kind of go through everybody and see where everybody else is. But this online characteristic has really changed it. So this is one of our goals, is to really try to streamline this and to educate people on how that's going to work. Frankly, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to explain that to parents because it is tricky. It is one of those things, the online academies and the colleges and the places that kids are doing these things out of the online piece is not easy to do. And we're kind of on their timeline more than them being on our timeline. So midterms don't really match up with regards to how our grading would be to their grading. So that's one of them that we're really looking into and we'll figure it out, but it's going to be kind of a work in progress here for a while to try and make sure that we're getting it squared up and people understand how we're doing that and then how it fits and affects their activities participation. A second goal is objective 6.2, annually manage and monitor ongoing facility needs and use of space. We've got great facilities here in Becker, but they're also aging facilities here in Becker. Brand new, obviously beautiful turf field that we have out there. And, we have to start planning right away for the replacement of that turf field someday. But we also have things like our tennis courts that are over 10 years old now and that are in tough shape. We have our track that's about in that same age. It all came through that same timeline of when we built the pool and we built the pack. And those things are aging and we have to have plans in order to go back and look at those and say, how are we going to upgrade, then update those areas so that we can keep our facilities as good as they are and as good as what we like to have. So, this goal is kind of looking at big picture, how we can make sure that we're looking into those things for down the road. And we have a plan for replacement. We have a plan for fixing. It's great that we can use them, but, if you go, I had a text this today from our tennis coach saying the cracks are getting bigger on the tennis courts. They're getting bigger, they're getting wider, the weeds are growing up through them. We were picking weeds today more than we were hitting balls. So that's the kind of stuff that this goal is looking after, is just trying to look at all of our facilities and make sure we have a game plan for how we're going to make sure we take care of them. Thank you.
All right. And the guy that plans with Mr. Nemi, this is great transitioning, by the way, fellas. And Mr. Kraus from Buildings and Grounds works with
To say hi to everyone on this side, because I've met you, all you three people. I'm Rick. Troy. Like to know the guys that serve. I'm Rick Kraus. I'm the director of Building and Grounds. I've been here, this is my 5th year, going into year 6. I'm going to give you more of a conversation than presentation. Really, my favorite part of my position is being able to have the ability to help the people of this community. It's really important. One of the first things I did for the department is we developed a mission statement. Our mission is to provide superior service to our students, staff, and community. We strive to keep clean, well-maintained facilities, well-groomed campus while providing a safe, comfortable environment that allows optimal performance and educational excellence. That's a lot. But if you break it down, our department is here to serve the district and the students, staff, anybody that steps foot in this district is here that we will serve. So I report directly to Kevin and Jeremy. We talk daily, we meet weekly, we discuss our budgets and everything else under the sun, just to keep the motor turning. We can see I have the Building and Grounds crew on the list. The first 3 names are subs, 2 past graduates, and a Ford engineer. Rick Spears has been working for me since the day I started, and he actually worked 1 year for free. He volunteered. He just can't help himself but help give. And it's such a gift to be able to share that. As long as he's able to come to work, I mean, even when he's not at work, he's here. He's knocked on my window at 5 o'clock in the morning to ask if I could have a job with him. So, and Deborah is here as well to support the department. Thank you. She's a day lead at middle school. And she's very amazing at her job. I've also met with you too, man. It's been a pleasure. I'm not gonna read all of them. So if you guys can see that, right? I don't have a pointer, but I don't know if you've ever looked at the parcel IDs from the county. But it's pretty chopped up. This is not one big campus. Like one big square. It is chopped up all over the place, and I don't know how the county allowed it, the county went through, but if you look at it, you can see middle school, primary school, intermediate school are all chopped in half. So it's not too often you can build a building on 2 parcels. So it was very fascinating to look at that. It's fascinating. If we can go to the next slide. And this is kind of the breakdown of those parcel. They have 805 roughly square feet, 117 acres. And that tax value, I mean, we're not taxed on it, but it's an appraisal from the county, and I don't think they could rebuild their schools for that. But I thought it was fascinating. So, well, next slide. So part of the strategic plan is managing our budget and keeping as much of the district in a healthy state as long as possible, as Dave was saying. We do have to have plans. That means roofing, that means brickwork, it means stuff that's not fun to look at. The fields are awesome, brings people in, but everything around them have to be maintained, so. Through monthly audits, where you're looking at our utility use, it's kind of hard to say what reductions we have right now, because we have construction going on, we have new buildings, we have new meters, have Excel Energy coming in, and we're gonna look at every single meter. So with that, I meet with Kevin weekly on a calendar invite, but we also talk daily. We bounce stuff back and forth all the time. And so when I get Excel's bills and the gas bills, the sewer and water bills, that all goes into a B3 program. Hope we can bump to the next slide. Still part of that, yeah. I don't think you jump to B3. So if you look at B3 is a benchmarking program. All government and city buildings are part of that. So you can actually go to a benchmarking website, both any school district in the state, any city, college, it's actually pretty sweet. And you can compare the schools and where they rank, if they're accurate. So what you really want to pay attention to is the square foot rating on it. And if you look at past history, way back in 2012, we were 59 BTU per square foot. That's gas and electricity combined. But as you can see, even with construction and new buildings being added, we're actually reducing that BTU per square foot. We're doing that with LEDs. We're doing that with higher efficient boilers. Everything we can do to kind of still make it comfortable and livable, safe, superior service. So we have to continue to do upgrades in order to keep that down. That doesn't reflect the pricing because we have no control of the pricing. All we can do is control how many BTUs we bring up. Any questions? I know it's real exciting for you, but I like it.
How do we compare to other schools? Do you look at that? Square foot?
You can go into that, you
You have that on there?
so if you go to the benchmarking website, you can look at BTU per square foot. You can look up to date, like if you see some of these were way back when they first started the program, like 67%. That doesn't mean that it wasn't being done, but maybe the reports were filed differently or missed for reading date. Like it was 3 days over, that will show up as a percent knocked off. So like in last year, I have a 99 point something 7 in there. So that meter maybe had a 3-day lapse in it or something to that extent. That makes sense. So that website's awesome.
The
City,
rating,
county,
Troy,
colleges.
the rating is that we are 4 or above, which is actually probably above that. 3, I mean, it depends. You got newer districts, you know, newer buildings, you'll have 4s and 5s. Your older buildings will be around 2 or 3 stars. They can see them.
And keep in mind, a few years ago, we still were firing steam boilers that had an 8-foot flame going down, and it was cool to look at. This flames going down. Let's make hot. That's all that boiler knew how to do is make it hot. But now we're controlling it so tight based on outdoor air temps that we can knock that BTU usage down. And so And then as well, like these LED lights, there's no ballast to suck up energy, they're not failing, we're not paying service calls. You walk in these halls and the lights are coming on, so it's pretty sweet. I like it. And that relieves a lot of responsibility for custodians where they have to come in and open up a building and they have to go to all the light switches and. Oh, sweet, you come in and lights come on, the cameras are on, and we have safe, secure buildings. It's pretty nice. I'm getting off my notes. Anyways, based on that as well, we're trying to eliminate appliances, and every year we send out a memo regarding personal appliances, so your coffee makers, your Keurig machines. If every single person in it has an office and they all bring in their own pizza makers, that's not controllable, and it's kind of dangerous, so they're not designed for that, so. We send it out, we try to police it the best we can, and we kind of sneak in, so we're gonna try to crack down a little bit on that this year, so. As long as I have my support, so. So, along with the strategic plan, we're looking at the environmental compliance and safety of the school district, and we always have an environmental safety contractor come on site and do audits, and he'll walk around, he doesn't work for me directly, he works for the district, so he talks with the nurses, he talks with food services, he talks with ICS. And any concerns, he'll bring that to the health and safety meetings, which we meet regularly at, so. Any questions for me? Now's the time. As they bring any safety concerns up, they're always, well, yeah, top of mind. Just talked to Chantel as I walked in the room, we just had soft stops coming in for middle school. Frequently I get the slip and falls, the sidewalks, icing, snow removal. The new fax room, we would talk during that construction phase, and all the new ranges are laid out, they're very different. You go in there and you punch in a little code, it releases the range, and then it's got cancel, fire suppression on it. So the kids would love this stuff. Right. Anything forbidden fruit, so. But yeah, there's always a good meeting to have. And Jeremy is at every single one, so. Safety, or Dan Johnson's actually his name, environmental safety. He attends everyone, Jeremy's always there, and then we have reps from each school. I think Brandon covers intermediate, primary, Sadie's there, and she'll talk. We're getting some eyewash stations put in intermediate. You think of who else is-
We have your custodial members and then science, some science staff. Yep,
Yeah.
Charlie Zimmer and
Next,
Felicia, who's there.
Sometimes workers' comp person.
Okay.
oh yeah, Jake, yep. He's been really interesting. He brings way more than I would expect. He goes over all our claims and how we can prevent them. Tells us if there's any safety grants we can grab or anything like that. B3, check it out. You'll like it. Then you can always call me on the carpet. I love that stuff. I send it to Jeremy and Kevin every month, so they're aware.
Yeah, we compare those, at least when I do, I compare how we're doing, because that's something controllable. Now it's a little tricky, like Rick said, because of the new buildings and things like that, but our efficiency can still stay the same per building and per square foot, so. And it seems to always go down, so I think we're doing really well.
It's hard when you got chainsaws and pipe cutters and a construction trailer that just latches on, but it's really, that is probably one of my favorite programs. It's awesome to compare, and then you have like, it gives you goals every month, like, well, how did I drop down, or what do I have to do to make this right? And so. And that comes directly off Excel's invoices, all those numbers. We're only really monitoring the schools, and I think I put the field lights on, because I kind of want to keep on. Probably get used. For long term, if we need tennis courts or something to that nature, we might have to do something different. And it's nice to meet you. I always see you three, but I never really met you at Quarry ACL. Kevin. Thank you.
The project oversight. Right, and next is community education. Their goals were by the 25-26 school year, create a plan to utilize and document increased community partnerships, providing greater opportunities for students. And so some of the things that we've continued to do were the Chamber of Commerce membership, working with them, working with the Becker Area Senior Center, senior citizens, doing a lot of different things with that program. Michelle goes to all these meetings, and then we've got the Becker Youth Association that works with us and facility use and outreach and things as well. Newer this year, one of the newer things that we're doing with the city of Becker and the county is the First Children's Finance Rural Child Care Innovation Program. So just trying to boost up childcare with the county and with the city, because it's a shortage in this area. They've had a lot of meetings. They probably had 7 or 8 meetings already. They've shared their results and information from, you probably have seen if you're on different social media, or even I think they mailed out a survey at one point. And so some of those things and the data from that has been shared with the Chamber of Commerce as well. So trying to get more daycare opportunities there. We're trying to figure out how the school can help them out with that as well, with their camp op. And so I think we have some opportunities for that with at least school age care. And with our new facility, we'll be able to hopefully house some more of those students and help out that way. It's the infants and things like that are really tricky. And then the costs is something that's burdensome for childcare. I don't know if any of you have sent your kids to childcare, but or especially recently, it seems like those costs just continue to go up, and it's hard to justify whether you can go for a job and work and pay somebody to watch your kid while you're just sending your check right to them. But that's again something they're working on. They're trying to find some grants and things like that to get some daycares and things started up. So that's a big one that's taken some time, and community ed and Sue and Michelle go to those meetings and try to support them in any way we can. What is technology?
I get do technology too, so I get involved in technology mainly in the second goal, but first goal, the part about providing opportunities for staff development, supporting the instructional technology for enhanced teaching and learning. One of the things that the teachers are actually getting PD on is the artificial intelligence and how it can be used, or how it will be maintained in the teaching side of things. And then the second goal is the one I really get involved in, with the maintaining fiscal responsibility and allocating the resources. I meet with Summer and Patrick, go over their budgets at the beginning of the year. They set up how much they're going to be able to spend, what they're going to get, the rotation of the iPads and things each year, how many we can purchase to enhance the teaching and learning.
Then they have a number of upgrades and things like that, Wi-Fi, security cameras, different things like that. And another thing that they're working a
Camp
lot on,
Op and the new
transportation.
early childhood and transportation all got upgrades, obviously, when the new buildings came in.
And the other focus that they're working on, it's gonna take some of our resources, financial resources, is gonna be cybersecurity. Obviously something that's bigger and bigger every day, it seems like, and so that'll be something. We might have to have a closed session at some point, I think, even to talk about cybersecurity and things like that, so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's very high on the insurance companies.
Very high.
All right. Then I already asked for questions, so I don't know, unless you have something else that you remembered or thought of. We can call somebody else.
Thank you, everybody, for all your hard work. Very much appreciated.
Yep, and thank you very much for the presentations and bringing us up to speed.
All right, then we'll move on to the reports. Superintendent Schmidt, you have a report?
Yeah, and I do want to thank our staff. I think Dale talked about it, but we have such an amazing staff, whether it's these people who presented, the directors, administrators, all the way down to every single person that works here, even the 2 or 3 hour employees that we have. it takes a lot to get everybody trying to move in that same direction when you've got 500 different people, different thoughts, different ideas. But that's really our goal, and it starts a lot with these ones that presented here today and their counterparts and that didn't come today, that presented last year or the year before. So that's important, I think. Making sure people are trained, like Jenny talked about, as well is something that's really important for us to do. One benefit we do have, especially with our directors and administrators, is we've had a lot of continuity. The year I came, even right before that, when Kevin came, it's turned over quite a bit since that time. My first year, Connie probably the only one that remember this, maybe you had some knowledge of it or whatever, but you know, Rick was new. Really, it was Dale was the only one that was here when I started. Dave knew was, see, but Carla is new since then. Jenny is new. Nat, Chantel's in a new role. There's lots of different pieces. That Felicia's new in food service. I don't want to leave people out, but it was a pretty big turnover. But we've had that consistency now going into our 6th year here, and so I think that's something you'll see where that momentum begins to slowly grow and continue to move forward. So. You throw COVID in there, that kind of slowed us down a little bit, but so yeah, thank you to all that presented tonight and those that shared information too that weren't able to make it tonight. Going into my report, the project, things are progressing well. They're really happy with the progress that they're making. The intermediate's really the one that's kind of you're seeing the most things with. Their cafeteria looks awesome, as rough shape as it's in. It looks really good. As far as the space that it's created there. So if you get a chance to see that, if you've been in that building before and paid attention to that, it's something that's major. That a lot of the other stuff that's taking place in the intermediate is above the ceiling tiles and things, so nobody's really going to recognize that. But hopefully Rick will, and hopefully our B3, if you get on that, will be much better too. Primary school's got the roofing as well, and they're working on that, from the storm damage and things, so that you can see outside the building, you can see the progress on that. And then lots of other checklist and punch list types of things that are taking place with the other buildings and other projects that are still just finishing up. We've been working a lot on fall planning. Our executive committee is it's staff development days for the fall and all of next school year ready to go. Carla, executive director of curriculum instruction, has done a great job with that. Feeding staff development opportunities. We'll have back to school, new teacher workshop. We'll have the all staff meeting, back to school, and then we'll have a plan. A lot of stuff in the elementary levels, the letters training and things, but we've also got some other things that we're working on and will be shared with some of the leadership teams and things like that in August. And so we're starting to do the groundwork on that. We're having another meeting tomorrow. Just kind of continue to improve that and get it prepared. School board work session. I can't remember, I think Chantel maybe had said something about this, but the IROD process for the school board members, the home run leadership here, so we'll have that. If you're not able to make it, let me know, but we have that meeting on August 15th at Resource Training and Solutions. Our cabinet has been through that training, some of our other staff members as well, but it's been really helpful. Our secondary principals presented on that at the MASSP summer conference, so they talked about that when they were doing cell phone policy changes as well. Also on August 15th, they're planning a new the early education facility open house. There's one from 9 to 11 and one from 5 to 7. Planning is still taking place. I can't remember if they sent out a flyer yet or not, but they just finalized the flyer, and there will be something on social media. So that'll go out again on social media, and then we'll send an invite campus or district wide with our email system as well for that. So we'll hopefully have a lot of people in there. We've had that chamber meeting there, and you guys have been in there before. It's not a touch screen. I have my iPad. Hopefully have a good turnout for both of those times. And Camp Pop is already using it, so some of those families have already seen it. On Monday, June 24th, we had a book reconsideration hearing. Jenny Lawrence, our HR director, was the moderator for the event. Carla Nolan, again from curriculum instruction, set up most of the information and some of the scheduling. We had a number of community members who spoke during the public comment section of that. It seemed like everything went pretty well. Good feedback, and there was a consensus at the end with the committee and the information from the person who brought the reconsideration forward and the staff, and I think we came up with a reasonable solution to publish our text and then publish the alternate text titles too, so that parents and people can see that as well. So that I think was a suitable solution for everybody. And then on June 26th and 27th, last month, Nick Carlson, our school resource officer from Sherburne County, and I attended a Minnesota School Safety Center conference in Bloomington. Was able to attend a number of sessions talking about student and community engagement and safety, cyber security was part of it. Effective school and law enforcement partnerships and things like that. So there are a few things that I liked. One of the things I'm looking at trying to implement was the student and community engagement and safety was one of the school districts took students and they brought them in because they're the ones that are going to have some say in how to create a safer environment. And it goes back to that see something, say something type of philosophy, where the students are the ones that hear things and know things. So how do we get better communication out to our students so that they can let adults be aware of different things that are taking place and things like that. So that's something that I'm looking more into, and it might be something that we want to start here, where we can get some middle school and high school students, get some feedback from them and how we can create a safer environment and a better opportunity for them to be able to report, and what are some of the obstacles that they're seeing or having when they have those situations. So, and then I've attached the project oversight committee presentation that we have as well. Any questions for me?
Okay, committee reports, policy committee.
Yes, policy committee did meet back on June 26th. Jeremy touched on this a little bit. 'Tis the season for when legislative changes come down. So we did cover a number of those policies. And Jeremy did a great job getting everything updated and changed. Just to name a few of the policies, 514, 560, 605, 609, 611, 727, 801, 902. Again, these are all on the website. Be able to see what those changes are, the extent of those changes, what those policies are. So Jeremy, good job, well done going through those and getting all those, pieced together. Much appreciated. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to maybe what you see on those or anything really.
Really, all the changes is what if you look on the board book here, what the descriptions say about them.
Yeah.
It really is all that
Yeah.
are changed.
A lot of them, some small changes, some, just language changes, some legitimately switching one word out for another. It's like, you wouldn't think that was a thing, but it's a thing. It's,
Well,
one
yeah,
word.
shall and must was a comment.
Yeah, it's amazing, when you go through it. So, well done on that. Again, we did, discuss, policy 470 as well. We're working to, make changes to that and bring that forward in a later date. So, yeah, I think that covers everything.
All right, any questions for Pete? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
Probably have more coming
We'll
up
do-
too.
Yeah, we'll do the annual reviews next month, hopefully, and then it's not as many, and then some that we're still working on.
And then 284 negotiations.
Yeah, I'll take that one too. So we did meet, last week, was our first joint session, coming out of mediation. And really, we're just as a group, both the district and 284, continue to work towards a fair and responsible settlement. We did again, like I said, met last week. We'll continue to put offers on the table from both sides. I believe they're both updated on the website now, which hopefully everybody can see and go through and see what's being done. And we'll continue to keep everybody updated as we move through that process. I appreciate everybody's time. I know it's been a long ongoing process, but we'll continue to work hard to get it done.
Do you have any other meetings scheduled with them?
As of right now, we do not have a meeting scheduled, correct, Jeremy?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
We do meet with transportation next Wednesday.
Okay,
for the first.
No.
There's this.
this,
Like 2 days from now.
yeah.
Or this, yeah, this one, and then next one.
Okay. And then budget and finance, Kevin and I met on June 26th. And we just discussed the insurance fund and more will be coming later on after they meet with the insurance committee. So that was that. Any questions on that? All right, let's see, so the next, so the board had a closed session as part of the last regular school board meeting to discuss negotiations for the various employee groups and individuals. The board reviewed proposals concerning wages and benefits, and so that is a summary of the closed session from June 3rd. All right, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for the consent?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right,
Is it just the, and maybe we can talk, I mean, the Alpine ski, I see that's new on there. We had, I think, did I read it right, as one individual who wants to participate?
mhm.
Do we know how did that, I really don't know exactly, how does that breakdown go for costs or things of that nature? Do we know even? You know, Mr. Moon's here, but I don't know. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but,
I think that's a different, that's on the lower.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I was just scroll too far down, my bad.
You stole my question.
No, I'm good.
All right, any other discussion on the consent?
No, sorry.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that motion is passed.
Right, good.
Proud of Brian, sorry.
Ryan, can you hear us still?
Yep, I said aye.
All right, and then next are the gifts. And do I have a motion for accepting the gifts?
Motion to accept.
I will second it.
Ryan?
All right, so we have a motion to accept. Yes, any discussion?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of big numbers on there again.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
Well, we did Pete and Ryan for that.
Yes. Yep. All right, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Next is a resolution establishing dates for filing affidavits of candidacy, and Jeremy, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, this is just, it doesn't have to be score, but we do have to put this in the newspapers by July 16th. And so it's ready to go in this week. It should be in there. But this opens up the window for filing for school board. And so that kicks in on July 26th, there's July 30th to August 13th. So if you're running for school board, I think we have 3 positions open. They are
Mine,
Troy.
Ryan.
Ryan and Connie. Okay. They'll be up, whether they choose to run again or not, but those 3 positions are looking to be filled for 4-year term. So anyone wants to apply, make sure you bring $2 to
Exact change.
I think you can do, you might have to do this one at the county. I don't know if we can do it through us here, but I'll do some checking in.
Last time we did.
Yeah, we
The last time it was our election, though, since this one is you might be able to do it here. I'll let you guys know, but you can certainly call the district office and
Just the
ask.
county has the ballot.
We have to send it by them to them, you think? Yeah, it is here. You can do it here, because I remember talking to Angel now about staying here till 5 o'clock on that 13th. So during regular business hours, and then 5 o'clock on August 13th, we'll be here.
All right, any questions? All right, do I have a motion to accept the resolution establishing dates for filing affidavits of candidacy?
I'll motion to accept.
I'll second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay.
I don't know which one he's saying it to. but
I'm assuming he,
I-
but I shouldn't assume anything. All right, next on the agenda is the policy review. Jeremy, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so, I don't know, 30+ policies on here. You can see exactly what the changes are and the title of the policies on here. That are in there, they range, but a lot of them are statutory changes or reflective of. Language changes that maybe are related to statutes in a way, so. So these ones are all through that updated. I think I had last month, we had them on. We put that sheet on here with MSBA, with all of them on there, so they had less of the information that we put on here, but. Yeah, they'll be updated if they get approved. To match statute.
Okay. Can we accept all of these at once?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, can I have a motion to accept all of the policy?
I'll make a motion to accept the policies in front of us.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
And we thank Jeremy for going through all these and reading them, but also the policy committee for just looking at them all. There's a lot there to digest.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Same thing.
And the policies are accepted. Is there anything else for the betterment of the district? All right, then we are at number 9 and we are adjourned.
Connie. Nice job, Connie.